It's certainly windy out here today, and I'm on the little Vespa 300. Last time I was at this spot here, this was all open here, and they've started now to put a bit of road fill in here. But apart from that, everything's going pretty good. As a rule, I'd never go out riding these motorbikes or anything like that under windy conditions like it is now, because I just don't like them. It blows them around too much. And the Vespa here weighs about 150 kilos, but and is it affected by this wind? Yeah, definitely. It's blowing it around quite well. So, but then again, I've been on Enfields that are 200 kilos and it blows them around well, and I wouldn't even be out in an Enfield. But this little Vespa is so much fun to get out and ride around these places. I decided to bring it out whether it was windy or not. But you can see by the trees here, there's a fair bit. I think today it's roughly around about 35 km/h winds. That's what they expect. Fairly gusty at times, probably a little bit more. But apart from that, everything's good. I'm pretty happy with that scooter. I think I've clocked up something like, I don't know, pretty close to 500 kilometres on it now since I picked it up. So, you know, it's going pretty well in that line. Still enjoying the ride cycle, so that's good. A couple of little bugs there which I've got to iron out with it, but nothing major. I'll go into that later on. But overall, you know, like pretty happy with the purchase of the scooter itself. And I don't know if you can feel it, but you can feel the wind here, or the all the grass and that blowing that way, and you can see the trees there too. I've been picking more open areas to ride because you don't want to get caught out here and a branch comes down when you're riding along. So apart from that, like I said, 500 kilometres on it, no issues, gets on it, runs well, no trouble whatsoever. Great little scooter to ride. I'd actually think most likely one of my favourite rides, to be honest, so far, or I wouldn't be out here riding around and just seeing what it's like. So that side, well, you know, no complaints there at all. The only thing I don't like, it's very rarely windy like this in the area where I live day after day, but this is about the third or fourth day straight we've had this wind coming through, and temperatures up around about, it's jumped up too over the last week, probably up around 26 degrees I think it is. But I'm really surprised the power this little scooter's got, how well it handles the roads, how well it tracks. Just got a lot going for it. You know, sure, cost a fair bit of bucks to buy it, but you know, I think I got my money's worth in that line, and it's pretty good really to zoom around these places and, you know, have a crack at the open road. Apart from that, still a nice comfortable little scooter to ride. I'm not real keen on the idea it only holds about 9 litres of petrol, I think, or something to that effect. That doesn't give you a very good petrol range, because I'm used to the bikes what I've been on, you know, around, I don't know, 13 litres or better. And you certainly notice the difference here with the earlier fill-ups. You know, you only go out, do a couple of runs if you're lucky, or in my case out in the open road anyway, and then I'm back there and I've got to get a charge up the gas to keep going. So that is a little bit of a drawback, but there's not much you can do about that. I did notice underneath the seat, the parcel area, or what they call the pet carrier in some of these scooters, not a huge amount of room in there, but enough to get you out of trouble. But what I did notice, compared to X-Maxes, Hondas and a few of the other ones, this one transmits a lot more heat up through the engine bay into the carrier itself. So I don't know, I wouldn't be too keen on carting me drone and the camera gear in under that seat area, and I think I'd probably long term have to get a rack and do it that way, because, you know, I've noticed stuff I've put in there and I've come to get it off compared to the other scooters, and the stuff's pretty warm, so, you know, that might not be a good idea long term there. But, you know, as far as the other side of it goes, how it handles bumps, rides, steers, everything like that, that's really good. And, you know, when you buy a Vespa, they'd like to hit you for, you know, additional charges, so there's no reason you couldn't spend a few hundred and put a rear rack on it and go from there, and you'll be fairly well satisfied. In fact, I might even knock over a couple of photos of it here, which will be all right, and I can maybe use that as my thumbnail. So that bit aside, I'm just around the other side here. I'm going to shoot a shot into the sun here, so don't mind me, just enjoy the clip and while I knock off a few photos. Yeah, so apart from that, like I said, just about almost pushing 500 kilometres on the clock. First service is at 1,000. I'll probably do that myself. I think it only involves the oil and filter change and stuff like that. Shouldn't be much trouble compared to, if you can do a motorcycle, you can definitely do a scooter, so there's no big drama there. So apart from that, I'm still happy with the white colour I picked too, you know, like, not that I had a much choice of colours, but it's all right in that line. I'm waiting for some protective film to arrive so I can also cover it or put a layer underneath it so I don't get any, or try to avoid stone chips. I don't even know if I picked up any since I've had it, because a lot of the roads around here now, they've been filling potholes, and with that goes a fair bit of work. But apart from that, I think that'll conclude this. This was just a midweek clip. I'd get out here and do it. I was going to go around further, but it's getting a bit late now and you don't know if the roofs will be out, but I was going to go around to have a look at White Rock there, but you know, I'll see what happens when I power up and get going. So apart from that, if I don't go any further, like I said, this is just a little run out here, see how things are going. Everything's good. I'll be able to motor on once this weather or this wind clears and that, and I get it up to that first service stage where it's clocked over 1,000 kilometres. I might get out and do a couple of long runs on it and see how she's like out there on the open road. Like open road cruising at 100, something like that, 100 k's an hour. So that side, and I thought that seat would be a lot harder than what it is, but now I'm getting used to the seat. That's all right now. On these Vespas, the height's, you know, pretty good in that line too. So there's nothing really bad, you know, I can tell you about, except it's a really, really good little scooter. And I'm sort of enjoying the experience of riding one again. So I'll have to get back out in the Enfield, I think, in the next few days and see how that idea goes. But at the moment, I've been sort of giving her a scooter workout. So we'll get back on it, head back. I might go for a ride a little bit further and we'll see what happens from there.